to you, Tom. And thank you very much, James, again. Thank you.
Just moving things slightly so they don't fall over. Hi everyone, my name is Tom Bassett. I'm the Learning Disability and Autism Consultant for Norfolk County Council, and one of my work streams is positive behavioural support. Can I just get a feel for the room? Who has heard of PBS before? Oh, you can all go now, don't you? So what I'm trying to do is put a bit more consistency in place and get a few providers working to the same standard as everyone else, so that we can see our documents moving between potentially health and social care, and it making sense to everyone, rather than people kind of working in silos. So what I've got now is just a video, just to introduce PBS. It's from BUILD, British Institute of Learning Disabilities, and they are kind of at the forefront of PBS. Oh, or not.
Oh, is that one? Should. Let's see if that. Well, which way are we going back? It's down at the bottom. So if I do it, if you go on one, it's down the bottom. And it should show up somewhere. It did earlier.
Yeah.
There should be sound, shouldn't there?
All behaviour happens for a reason, and challenging behaviour is no different. Challenging behaviour makes life more difficult for the person doing it and those around them. Challenging behaviour takes many forms. It might involve someone hurting themselves, hurting other people, being aggressive, or anything else that has a serious impact on an individual's day-to-day life. Often this is dealt with by using temporary solutions, short-term fixes that don't actually address why the behaviour is happening. They may make the behaviour worse, and they can have a significant impact on quality of life. Some people prefer to call it positive behavioural support to remind us of the important fact that it comes from the scientific understanding of behaviour. You may hear people call it positive behaviour support, and it's usually called PBS for short. Although challenging behaviours can be difficult and distressing for all, they're often the most effective way an individual currently has to get their needs met. PBS aims to find the meaning behind a person's behaviour and then help them to find other ways to achieve what they want. PBS is a framework for working out why challenging behaviour gets a person's needs met, and then finding better ways for this to happen. PBS uses the techniques of applied behaviour analysis, guided by a strong values base and delivered in person-centred ways. That means around the individual and their unique needs. In working out why there is challenging behaviour, PBS specialists involve the person, their carers, their family and the staff who support them. Working together, they use scientific ways of collecting information to understand what the purpose of the behaviour is. As part of this, they would check whether the person had health problems that were causing them pain or discomfort. Once they know the why, they use the information and data to design a positive behaviour support plan. A PBS plan will be different for each person and will be based on what we think the behaviour means. It means that everybody knows the best way to work together to support the person. The main part of the plan will include some strategies for avoiding things that distress the person, as well as plans to teach them better and less harmful ways of getting their needs met. It usually involves teaching someone new skills so they can do more things for themselves, or some better ways to communicate. It may have plans to teach them coping strategies so they can learn to cope better in the future with situations that are difficult for them. It will also have some ideas to support the person if they do start to become upset. These are things that help to make them feel better at the time. The plan will also have clear guidance so everybody knows what to do if things become unsafe for the person or others around them. These strategies will only be used if absolutely necessary to keep everybody safe at that time. A PBS plan will also have ideas to improve the person's everyday life and feelings of well-being. Information will be collected over a set period of time to see if the plan is working. Hopefully, the quality of life for the person will be improving. If it isn't, the specialist will try and find out why. It's estimated that less than 20% of those who would benefit from this type of support are actually receiving it. Many believe PBS is the most ethical form of support for those displaying challenging behaviours. It has a growing evidence base that it works. There are 10 key components of PBS, divided into values, theory, and process, how it actually works. 1. It's about improving the quality of life of the person and of those around them. 2. It works by developing and building skills and not by punishing people or behaviour. 3. Practitioners work in partnership with the person and those people who are important to them. 4. All behaviour is for a reason, and challenging behaviour is no different. 5. PBS primarily uses applied behavioural analysis to describe, predict and change behaviour. 6. Other complementary evidence-based approaches may be included in PBS plans, such as occupational therapy, speech and language therapy, and other psychological therapies where these support changes in behaviour. 7. PBS uses decisions based on facts and research, not opinions or hearsay. 8. A formal assessment is made to create a clear, structured plan of action. What practitioners do is directly informed by what they know about the individual. 9. A PBS plan should tell people what to do to proactively prevent the challenging behaviour from happening and manage it well reactively if it does. 10. And above all, it should make sure people are actively supported over the long term to maintain their quality of life. PBS has been shown to help people with a wide range of needs and to cover a wide range of behaviours. It is an evidence-based approach. By using PBS, we believe we've found a better way for the individual, for families, for carers and for those who provide services. PBS is a respectful and ethical approach and supports people's dignity. If you're interested in learning more, please visit www.build.org.uk.
My apologies if you've seen that before, but I think it's good just to make sure everyone is aware, even if you haven't heard of PBS, exactly what the outline of it is. So, why use PBS? It was developed around 30 years ago in America for children, has come over to England. There is a big community that now supplies additional documents and evidence called the PBS Academy, which is online. Because it's so well researched and documented, you can find just about everything online to support you in your provisions. The values underpinning PBS are entirely congruent with those with national policy, and these are some of the different professional bodies that advocate the use of PBS. There's strong scientific evidence to say that it works. There's a lot of data collected whilst you perform PBS. Excuse me. Sorry, I'm a little bit nervous. There's a lot of people in this. So the outcomes for PBS. The improvement in the quality of life of people that you support, and that is the main component of PBS. It's not aimed at reducing restrictive behaviours. It is restrictive behaviour. It is used for improving the quality of life, working holistically and person-centred for the individual, and making sure that they are happy and they have the skills to be able to communicate effectively. It has a byproduct that it reduces restrictive practice. It also works alongside the STOMP agenda, so stopping over medication of people with learning disabilities and autism or both, and STAMP, which I'm sure everyone here has heard of. That the use of PRN is a restrictive practice, and that putting things in place, teaching functional equivalence to potentially challenging behaviour can reduce the need for PRM as well. What PBS is not, so it's not intervention, it's a way of, it's an ethos for the entire organisation to work by, and it doesn't work, again, in silos. You don't say, you're trained in PBS, now PBS everyone. You have to have everyone on board to be able to do it from the very top all the way down. It's not physical restraint training. Unfortunately, after the Winterbourne scandal, there was a lot of focus on PBS. That's why it's come through in so many different government documents. So people started to think that they could do this. There's no authority on PBS. There's no regulation at the moment. So people started delivering restraint training as PBS. So some people believe they've been trained in PBS, but it is just restraint. And it's not a short-term thing, it is long-term. It goes over the person's entire life, and it takes time as well. So what I thought I would do is just go through. So I've been delivering, I'm trained to coach level within PBS, and I've been delivering PBS to some providers who have shown an interest, and I'd be happy to deliver it to other providers as well. We actually have some of them in here. How did you find it?
It was fantastic, really good training, yeah, all the staff gave good feedback, yeah.
Yeah, just put you on the spot there, make you feel as awkward as I am. So I'm going to go through the 10 components, and I'm going to do this as though I was doing training, so I feel a bit more comfortable, and I'm going to get you to do something so that you don't have to look at me the entire time. So, improve quality of life. Can you just take a minute to talk to one another? You might not know each other, just have a little chat. What gives your life quality? What means that you have a quality of life? Can you just take a minute to have a discussion?
We know each other, so basically we know what everyone like you know each other, yeah. But you've got to know everybody, that's right. I think it is,
I suppose physical exercise.
Labels alive,
Doing a good job.
Okay, can I have some brave people to share their thoughts? What gives your life quality? Choices. Respect, yeah. Family, community.
Knowledge.
Knowledge, yeah. Learning. The environment. No one said money or gin yet, which is a bit of a surprise. That's usually what it is. It certainly gives my life quality. So there are certain things that are culturally specific for quality of life, and when you ask the opposite of that, of what will give your life quality, more quality, people usually say money and free time, but that's culturally specific to our society. There are things that go across all cultures. They're not going to come up. Can you?
Which way?
It should just be right. Oh, that's all right. There was some. There's some.
Yes, the four. There, and there.
Yeah. I'm not doing very well with my PowerPoint.
It's weird. They wouldn't be.
Oh, it's fine. Don't worry. So it's outlined as independence, choices. So well done, that person. Inclusiveness. So being a part of something. Oh, and there's one more. I can't quite remember it. But these things go across all cultures and all people. So those are the things. Those are the quality of life indicators we're looking for the people that we support within our settings. The entire approach is non-punitive. There is not a single punishment method within PBS. It is everything you do before you might have to physically intervene with someone or restrain in any type of ways, such as psychological or chemical restraint. In terms of punishment, I always give the example of if punishments worked, then we would all be driving at the speed limit. We have speed cameras everywhere. trying to catch us. However, some of us, I don't know who, possibly, speed in between those speed cameras and then slow down when we approach a speed camera. Now, if you're unfortunate enough to have done that and then not slowed down, you actually now go onto a speed awareness course and they re-teach you why it's bad to speed. Yeah, spot someone. So, if punishment worked, we would all go at the speed limit because we have a punishment system in place. When we look at places like Sweden, for example, and their prisons, they have the lowest offending and lowest re-offending rate. And within that country, they believe that taking away your freedom is your punishment. There's no further punishment. You then live your life in the prison. You're then taught skills and trades so that when you come out of prison, you have something to go and do when you leave, which makes perfect sense. Whereas in some other countries, you go into prison, you're further punished, you then create communities with other inmates, and you learn even more detrimental skills to then go out into community and re-offend. So the whole purpose of PBS is it's not punishment-based. Working in partnership, person-centered, holistic, working with the individual, asking the individual what they need to improve their quality of life, keeping them at the centre of it. And I always find this a bit difficult because in all my work previously, very education-based, I have worked with the individual and their families and social workers and everyone, and worked holistically. To find that people don't think to ask the person what their needs might be and how they could be supported staggers me. But I have come across it in different settings, not necessarily in Norfolk, but it's just good to keep that in mind. The theory and evidence. Oh, is this going to work now? No. Oh, I'm going to have to
Do you want me to
remember these off the top of my head.
open the... There is another version that might work, but it's widescreen, so I've had to change it to a small one. Won't take long, if that would be useful.
No, it's all right. It's all right because I've got people who've done the training, so I know I can put them on the spot and get them to help me.
It is on the... It should be on the paper one.
Oh, I always forget them. So a really, really useful part of PBS is that it says that all behaviour is for a reason. All behaviour is form of communication. It's the best means that that person has to communicate their need, even if it is detrimental to the person. It is meeting a need for them. And again, sound like a drum. Again, I compare this to sometimes you have a really bad day, you go home, you have a couple of glasses of wine, and then the next day you don't feel great for it. But at that time, that was helping you. You felt that that was helping you. That was the best way you'd learn to cope with that stress. There are lots of better ways, but you don't necessarily know them, or it's easier to drink all that wine. It's meeting a need for you, even though it's detrimental to you in a way. So, can you remember what the 5 reasons for behaviour are? Tangibles, well done, getting something. I'm being really horrible, sorry.
Emotional.
So, sensory stimulation. You've got escaping from a task that is too overwhelming. Interaction and attention, and that my favourite is that they're doing it for attention, so why didn't they have attention before that point? And pain reduction, that can be emotional, psychological pain as well as physical pain. Once you get to know that, you can start to dig down into why that person is displaying that behaviour, and you can start to teach them a different way of communicating that. It's based on applied behavioural analysis, ABA, which was developed for autism, but it's far more than that. It's an ethos to work by. So it's very based heavily in data. It's a complementary approach. It isn't a cure-all. Your staff won't learn how to do PBS and then everything will be fixed. It works in complement with all of the other organisations, all of the other professionals that you might need. Again, very data-driven. This is why we know PBS works, is because you collect so much data whilst you're doing it that you can accurately assess whether the intervention, whether the things you're putting into place are working with that person. You perform functional assessments. That's That's working with all the professionals, the person themselves, within the environment, to understand why they may be showing that behaviour of concern and putting something in place to support them. You then create a PBS plan from those functional assessments, and you do it over the long term, regularly assessing. So, what I've been trying to do, and what I'd like to invite you to, is I'm working with several other professionals to create a strategy for Norfolk around restraint reduction, around PBS, so that we have a baseline that everyone can work to, a set of expectations that we can all put into place. So I have a co-production event on Wednesday the 18th of September, so around a month away. Has anyone signed up to that yet, or has anyone seen it or knows about it? You have. Well done. Just you. If you are interested in that, I'm going to have to close the sign-up sheet because I had 150 capacity and we're almost at that. So we've got a really good cross-section of people coming from different charities, from different organisations, from health, social care, education. If you're interested, please come see me at the break or after this, and I'll put you onto the list and send you a confirmation email. So we want to get everyone involved to see if we want to take this forward. To truly co-produce this strategy, so it's not just telling you we need to do this now. Everyone has their say in it. We have a bid-in with N&SCS for. I'm not doing well with my team. Oh no, not quite yet. Sorry, got excited. We have a bid-in with N&SCS to either subsidise their training or hopefully get more training in place for free within settings, but that's going to be totally down to whether we are successful in that bid. And through this, and through the strategy I'm putting into place, I'm hoping that in time we'll be able to create a self-sustaining model so that everyone can work within PBS and provide their own training and have that structure